Dear students, we are in the second part of the topic mental retardation. So the next classification is a moderate mental retardation. As the name itself specifies, it's a moderate condition, uh, not mild, not very severe. So the clinical description is the individuals in this category are slow in developing comprehension. Comprehension is to understand. If somebody speaks something, to understand really what that person means is comprehending. So comprehension is very much affected. Slow in developing comprehension. That means that the person will not is not really understanding what you are conveying. Your message, what you are conveying, will not be understood. And use of language, and the use of the way you are using a language. If you are cracking a joke, they will not understand what that joke is. It will take them, maybe you would have to explain everything regarding. So those kind of so and there, I'm not only talking about a joke which is difficult to understand. It's not like that. Even the simplest form of conversational emotion and all, they will cannot understand that, and their eventual achievement in this area is limited. So even achievement in any area is limited. Self-care is affected, and motor skills also retarded, and some need supervision throughout life. They will need, so moderate mental retarded person, children or adult will need somebody to supervise them throughout their life. They cannot live alone. Progress in schoolwork is limited. It's they are not like the mild mental retarded children who can, after good educational training, support and all, they can pick up well. Here it is not going to happen. So, but a proportion of these individuals learns a basic skill, but they can learn some basic skills needed for reading, writing, and counting, such as counting, currencies, or counting, necessary things, making small additions, regarding money, and reading small, understanding headlines, and writing simple sentences is possible. Educational programs can provide opportunities for them to develop their limited potential and acquire some basic skills, such programs are appropriate for slow learners with a low ceiling effect. So low ceiling effect of achievement is that the threshold of success will be kept low for these persons. As adults, when they become adults, moderately retarded people are usually able to do simple practical work. They will be can be able to do simple practical work, that if they can, if for example, like labor work, and they cannot use sophisticated tools. They cannot manage too much of money, too much of people conversation with too much people. So they can do work something like that, lifting something, and lifting stones, or lifting groceries, and those kind of work can be done if the tasks are carefully structured and skilled supervision is provided. So that also, the skilled supervision is required. So completely independent living in adult life is rarely achieved. So living independently in adult life is rarely achieved. So these kind of people, these moderate mental retarded persons, they will always be depending upon their parents. They will be living with their parents even when after becoming an adult. So how do we diagnose? The IQ range here is very much. So you saw that in the mild mental retardation, we saw that it was from 50 to 69. So below 70, 50 to 69. Here 40, 49 to 35. So between 35 to 49 is a IQ score for this. So this IQ score if is a diagnostic value for putting that person into this group, that is moderate mental retardation. Discrepant profiles of abilities are common in this group, with some individuals achieving higher levels in visuospatial skills than in task dependent or language. Here, this surely language is going to be a huge problem. They cannot understand what the other person talks, and try to they will have a very difficult time understanding and talking to other, social interaction, everything, while others smartly clumsy but enjoy. So social interaction, simple conversation what you're talking is their meaning is only simple social interactions like even the person becomes adult, they can understand only what a child can understand. So that kind of a level, but they can have visuospatial means they can have some kind of a motor skills which is related to space and vision. So these kind of some skills they can do, not all skills, some basic skills is possible. The level of development of language is variable. It is different for different people. Some of those affected can take part in simple conversation like what the children can do, while others have only enough language to communicate their basics. So this group, at least they have their basic communication requirement they can do. Basic needs, they are hungry, they want to change their clothes, or they feel whatever they feel about themselves, what they need they will ask to the other person. Some never learn language. Some people will never learn a language thoroughly, though they may understand simple instructions and may learn to use manual signs to compensate to some extent for their speech ability disabilities. So use manual signs to compensate to some extent of their speech disabilities. An organic etiology can be identified in the majority of moderately. So here a proper etiology, organic lesion will be there, and they will be part of some diagnosed primary problem. So mainly the diagnosis will be childhood autism, pervasive development disorders. Substantial minority will have that, epilepsy, other neurological conditions, cerebral palsy, all those physical disabilities. Though these children will be, under this diagnosis will also be put into the what we call as moderate mental retardation. They will otherwise called as imbecility. Same meaning, the meaning stupid, and moderate oligophrenia again we had in the earlier same. So here it's a moderate mental subnormality. So the third form, the third severest is the what we call as F72 according to the coding of ICD. Severe mental retardation. Clinical description, this category is broadly similar to that of a moderate mental retardation in terms of clinical picture. So broadly, it is very difficult to for a physiotherapist to understand that whether the person is moderate mental retardation or a severe mental retardation, because the overlap is almost same. But here the same like the moderate, organic etiology is surely present and associated conditions. So the in severe mental retardation group, the other important thing to remember is most of them will show other motor related problems, which for which physiotherapy is highly indicated. So our treatment is must for other conditions such as motor motor activity related spasticity, range of motion is affected, all those kind of weakness, gait abnormalities, fine motor, gross motor, milestone development, all those will be affected in this group, because the severe mental retardation is always associated with some severe form of cerebral palsy or genetic disorders or those kind of conditions. So IQ range, naturally the other one was 35, and here it is 34 to 20. So 20 to 34, see how very less IQ score. We know that above 70 is only, so below 70 is mentally retarded. So then we had between the 69 and then we had 50, then we had from 49 to 35, now 34 to 20. It's a very low score. That's why we call it as severe mental retardation, severe mental subnormality, severe oligophrenia. So this is the most severest form. In this severest form, it is the profound mental retardation. Profound mental retardation, F73. Clinical description of this condition is the IQ in this category. What will be the IQ? Surely it will be less than only 20, less than 20. So this is the last in severity. So under 20 means a very less score, which means in practice that affected individuals are severely limited in their ability to understand or comply with the uh, what they will not be able to comply with any of the conversations the other person is doing. They cannot understand what the other person is requesting, what is the instruction. They will not able to, they cannot follow that. Most such individuals are immobile. Mostly Those see here in cerebral palsy, the quadriplegic children, or in the severest form of genetic conditions such as Dandy Walker, conditions with hydrocephalus, so severe hydrocephalus, Arnold-Chiari malformation, those kind of severe conditions, they will have profound mental retardation, meaning that we cannot communicate. We don't understand that whatever we are talking to the child, or child is not receiving that. Maybe some sensations or stimulations what we are giving can be understood, and that also they cannot respond to you back. We will understand through some gestures and some motor movements. Most such individuals are immobile or severely restricted in mobility, incontinent, and capable at most of only very rudimentary forms of non-verbal communication. Maybe they will be some kids will be able to say a particular word or a particular sound for a particular need. That is a maximum they can is a verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is mostly used by these children. They possess little or no ability to care for their. They cannot take care of themselves. Ideal activities, all bathing, toileting, grooming, everything will be hygienic activity. Even feeding is going to be affected. So that means that the constant supervision, a person has to be always be with this children. So very serious condition. Diagnosis nothing more here to see you after understanding the above three. All everything will be affected here. IQ is under 20. That is diagnostic value. Comprehension and use of language is limited to no comprehension and use of language. At best, understanding basic commands and making simple requests. So the only what we can see is simple communication, simple particular calling somebody with a particular sound, e, something like that, or ma. Maybe they will call their mother's name. That's all finished. And they will call the same for everything. For all requests, same sound will come. The most basic and simple visuospatial skills of sorting and matching may be acquired. But this is the WHO definition says I like this. But below 20, it's very highly rare to see such kind of matching and sorting like color matching color. Sometimes color matching may be there. They will be able to match color to color, and sometimes maybe shapes. Very rarely this will happen, and the affected person may be able with appropriate supervision guidance to take small part in the domestic and practical tasks. If that is possible, take part in small domestic task. Only task is possible only if no motor or other problems are severe. Severe, if other motor problems are severe, that also will be difficult. An organic etiology can be identified, surely identified. Severe neurological or other physical disabilities affecting mobility are common and are usually epilepsy, visual and hearing impairment. All this will be there along. So that is a major problem here. These two these children know not only have mental, they will have some other sensory impairments like a visual impairment, blind, hearing impaired, so deaf and dumb. Along with that, blind also. So all these things will be obstruction for learning. So learning will be totally affected, means intellectual capabilities are totally at risk. Pervasive development disorders in their most severe form, especially atypical autism, are particularly frequent, especially in those who are mobile. So these kids are really called as EDOC, profound mental subnormality or profound oligophrenia. So what are the we are not going to discuss about the two other types. We will stop with the profound because it's going to be very huge topic then. So here also I have cut short. If you go to the ICD manual, one the topic I'm talking about is associated medical conditions, means maybe 20 conditions are given in the WHO report. So I did not put that. So we all, I will just tell you what it is meaning. Associated medical conditions means all medical conditions where the brain is affected. Where the brain is affected, the growth of the brain is affected in the early, congenital or during delivery, such as what happened, hypoxia, all those any pathology, any viral infection, all those encephalopathy, all those infections associated medical care. So that are the infections, and first is the infections and parasitic disease. Any parasitic, any viral, parasitic, or any other bacterial conditions affecting the brain or the meninges, leading to inflammation of the brain, and that condition